What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more ABBA. Indeed, we're back to start the final phase of the main ABBA journey, though once again, I did want to mention I'm aware I already have access to both Agnetha and Frida's solo material. Not sure about Benny or Bjorn's material following ABBA at this point, but I'm sure at some point we'll be able to go through that too. Nevertheless, as I said, this is the final phase of the main ABBA journey, and it's an album that came out after 40 years. Now, a couple friends of the channel did point out to me that there were some hints, some live appearances in the decade leading up to this album that suggested that maybe we hadn't heard the last of ABBA, we being, the world, the people. I've obviously learned about ABBA much more recently. Nevertheless, it is really interesting to me because, see, I listened to a number of groups that got started in the early 80s, not only Depeche Mode. Many people will know, friends of the channel, that I've been listening to Depeche Mode for a long time. But some of the punk groups you see behind you got started early 80s, some cases like very late 70s, and they still put out albums, still release material. So I'm aware of groups that have like a 40+ year history, but to have such a rich catalog of material going back, like a decade about, in different genres, different styles, and then to disband, and then to come back 40 years later with an album of mostly, I believe, new material is remarkable. So, yeah, it's just incredible that the world was treated to another ABBA album after so long, and with most people probably not ever expecting to hear another one. So, I'm really excited to go through this, and I'm really looking forward to hearing any maturation or any development. Someone did mention, I'm forgetting who it was in the moment, but that they... people thought, are they going to do something that's sort of like cliche ABBA, or are they just going to try to like recreate the whole, the original sort of vibe? But my understanding is that they made a release, irrespective of any of those expectations, and that it's a very, mature ABBA release, which, doesn't necessarily sound like some critics expected it to sound. So either way, I'm really excited to hear it. The first track is I Still Have Faith in You. Yeah, it speaks to a confidence in a person, but by implication it suggests that there has been a transgression, a failure, a letdown, a disappointment. You wouldn't need to indicate faith in someone unless there was some question of whether you still had it. It's like, I'm a historian, and when you're looking through documents in history and someone, some scribe or some person proclamating about different things, like, oh, well, this thing never happened, and anyone who says it happens is a crazy person and they don't know what they're talking about. It's like, I'm actually going to look closer here because, methinks the man doth protest too much. So sometimes like what isn't said can be as revealing as what's actually on the page. And so by saying you still have faith in someone, you're indicating a commitment, but you're also implying that something negative or that would throw that commitment into question has occurred. So let's find out what it is. This is ABBA, I Still Have Faith in You, and it's the first track on their 2021 album, Voyage.
I still have faith in you, I see it now. Through all these years that faith lives on, somehow there was a union of heart and mind, the likes of which are rare and grow so hard to find. Do I have it in me? I believe it is in there, for I know I hear a bittersweet song in the memories we share. I still have faith in you, and I will say I never really thought I'd feel this way, but I remind myself of who we are, how inconceivable it is to reach this far. Do I have it in me? I believe it is in there.
Little synth riff before the break, the bells now.
I know I hear a bittersweet song in the memories we share. It stands above the crazy things we did. It all comes down to love. Do I have it in me? I believe it is in there. For I know I hear a bittersweet song in the memories we share. Do I have it in me? We do have it in us. Your spirit has arrived. The joy and the sorrow.
It's like sonic fireworks, like. The things we did, it all comes down to love. Do I have it in me? Amazing. I can't begin to imagine what it was like for people who were fans of their original run in real time and then after 40 years got to hear this. But I'll just say that that was an amazing and powerful opener, and I'm going to savor this album. Nevertheless, I was like, the whole time I'm hearing the lyrics, I'm thinking about it in relation to them as a group. We still have it in us, and this is built on all the crazy things we did, and they're still here. And they're coming back together, so it feels very personal, but like everything they're saying I'm feeling could apply to like humanity as a whole. And we've been through crazy things and bad things have happened, but ultimately I still have faith in who we are as humans, and trying to find ways to treat each other better and so on. It felt like, and maybe it's because I'm thinking about the album cover, which kind of has this sun coming across the whole planet type of look. I feel like those lyrics work for either like ABBA and the individuals of the group or humanity as a species. So that was my take on a first listen, and sonically just fantastic. Like I said, like little synth touches that were small in sound but were really just the right like ingredient to the mix. That sort of orchestral, sort of symphonic ending especially I enjoyed. Their voices, and I enjoyed the composition. Once again, it was like the first time they came in with that the big sort of lead into the chorus. I wasn't prepared for it, but then I could see as the track went along, like the way they were going to come back to it. So I enjoyed the like intuitive nature of the composition. So really cool tune. Love the melodies, and yeah, like I said, again, this isn't the same for me, having gone through their catalog very recently and then jumping ahead 40 years in time to listen to this, but I am trying as much as possible to keep that temporal gap in mind, and the way it would have felt to people with them suddenly releasing another album, though again people did point out that there were some hints that maybe ABBA had more to say. Either way, an amazing album opener, very powerful, very emotional. Looking forward to feeling the sonics and the atmosphere of the rest of the album. And again, I can only imagine, it's again, if some of these punk bands that I listened to put out their stuff in the early 80s and then did nothing for 40 years and then put out another album, it'd be like, wait, they came back to do an album? Like, what? So I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what this might be like for ABBA fans who had listened for so long. But yeah, bottom line, really cool opener. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time. And Luca maybe will be on camera next time instead of sleeping right there.